y'all, Droppin Gems, time for change Tuesday. Y'all ready for Turkey Day? Cause it's coming up. It's coming up. Yes. Okay, Turkey Day. Now, I don't know what your favorite dish is, but I'm trying to tell you, Shawty's ready. I'm ready to take plates. If you want to donate a plate, just let me know. I'm coming to pick it up. And then I'm gonna have somebody taste test it because I ain't gonna eat it first. Let me let you be the one to know that. All right. Hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. So I want to make sure that we talk about for-profit leadership just a little bit, because I'm not an expert in for-profit leadership, but I am going to tell you the differences, because we talked about nonprofit leadership, and we talked about how a nonprofit, it needs to be it's your passion, it's a mission, and you follow through with it. So we talked about that. So just making sure that if you are ordained and you are here to do this, then and you want to give back to multiple people, you want to give back to the community. We talked about the registration of the 501c. That is what you would need to do. Okay. So I want you to keep in mind that is the case. Okay. All right. So when you have a for-profit, though, it's profitable and it has a shareholder value. All right. So it's very profitable and it has a shareholder value. So when you start to make money in your for-profit, you're going to start to realize that you can sell shares to other people, or you can have people have ownership into your company. You cannot do that with a nonprofit, but you can have a board or board members who own a percentage of the company, right? Because you can dissolve the company to another company, but basically the company is owned by the government or owned by the community that it's around, okay? So leadership decisions in a for-profit is driven by financial performance, market growth, and return on investment. So like in nonprofit land, I make decisions and it's not necessarily based off of return on investment. I just want to save the world, help people get education in trades, provide psychotherapy education to individuals who are trauma informed. I want to provide jobs because, you need to have jobs in the social economic status for yourself, for your house, for your everything that you have. So it's very important for those things to be relevant. Okay? You want to make sure that those things are relevant. So making sure that I'm doing those things for not the money, but for the passion. Not the money, but for the dedication. Not the money, but for, me being ordained. All right. When you have a for-profit, you are looking for your return on your investment. If I donate this much, how much would I get back in return? Some people get into business and say, hey, I'm an investor. I will invest $50,000 into this restaurant if I get back $80,000 within 3 months. So it's a return off investment. Now, you could buy people out, or that person will be the owner until their investment is bought out. So different things like that. So it's definitely based on market growth, and it's definitely based on return off investment. In a nonprofit world, that is not the case. In a nonprofit world, you do it for the mission, you go in the hole, and you try to help as many people as you can, and you sell that people will help you. People will do and provide this education to individuals. We need this, right? So making sure that you have your elevator pitch and all of that stuff because you're passionate about the work that you do. So it's very important for you to be paying attention to that, okay? Oh, did y'all see my birthday gift to myself? My glasses? Ain't they cute? Oh, thank you. All right, so making sure, because I just realized, I just came on the screen without my glasses. Like, y'all gotta realize, this is a write-off, okay? I need these. So making sure that you're paying attention to your revenue, your profit margins, your market share, and your efficacy. Okay. So it's important to pay attention to those things because that's the only way you will get people to invest into your business when it's a for profit. When it's a nonprofit, you like, no, invest in me because I'm giving back to the community. This is a tax write-off. It's not that way when it's a nonprofit. Okay. Let me see. So with that said, that the for-profit is basically results oriented, right? And it's performance driven. Now, nonprofits are that too, results oriented and performance driven, because it's important for any business to be results oriented and performance driven. Okay, it doesn't matter what business it is. You always want to have goals. You always want to have something that you're looking forward to. You're always going to be doing that. Okay, no matter what. You're always going to have a strategic vision. Things are always going to be innovative, right? Productivity and accountability is always going to be within the company, no matter if it's a nonprofit or it's a for-profit. If you're a nonprofit leader or a for-profit leader, you're still going to be paying attention to those things. Decision making is often decided faster based on the influence of the market dynamics. So I don't know if y'all heard, but Amazon's like, yeah, we're going to have all of these robots. So guess what? 14,000 employees. We don't need you. Because we're going to do robots. And yeah. And so what? You don't have a job. Find one. So yeah, that's for-profit land. Welcome to for-profit land. And actually, these big corporations, even some of the big corporations are nonprofits. So if you pay attention, some of them are nonprofits because they, have a way of giving back to the community by providing all these jobs. So it gives the big billionaires business to donate to so that they can have these big write-offs. But it is still driven off market dynamics. How can we make more money? How can we make more money faster? I don't know about y'all, but you could order something from Amazon today. If you order it before 59 seconds, you will get it at from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Like, it's going to come. It's going to be right outside your door. I ordered all these supplies and it was right there. So I'm just saying, this is a whole new world now in delivery. Resource management. So resources are allocated based on profit, potential, and efficacy. So again, everything is profit. How much profit can I make? If you are, making something, if you are an artist and you are selling your art wholesale, please believe it's market. They are going to be wanting your art based on the pool, right? Based on if it's marketable. So if they see that you've already sold a piece for, I don't know, 400, the next time you sell a piece, you probably could sell it for 700. Depending on the size, depending on the build, even if it's the same thing, things like that. So comparing your market. We already talked about risk taking because we already talked about the 3 F's: fear, faith, finance. Right? Finance, fear, faith, whatever combination you want to put it in. Being a for-profit business owner, you have to consider that as well. You have got to be a risk taker. It's people that utilize their credit and say, you know what, I am going to put $50,000 on my credit because I know that I'm going to make $60,000 after this is all said and done. So at least I know I'm going to get the $10,000 back. And then if I break easy and try, then maybe I could make a little bit more. I might make a little bit more. But the goal is to always do like an investment. All right? You're going to pay attention to your customers and your employees, not just your employees. A lot of times in nonprofits, you're just paying attention to your employees making the revenue, your employees pitching, your employees doing the thing, your employees getting a person a job, your employees provide therapy services, your employees, training effectively, based on whatever it is. So making sure that you're paying attention to that. In the for-profit world, it's about the customers. So Amazon don't care if they're going to lay off, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm just like, they don't be caring if they're going to lay off these 14,000 people, because they already have a product that is moving, which is the customer. The customer is going to continue to buy. So if the customer is going to continue to buy, then what do we need you for? We just need them to pay for the robots. And then once the robot is there, it's a machine that's going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And the only thing we got to worry about is the production and maintenance. Pay attention. So the leadership responsibility of a for-profit, you have to pay attention to maximizing value of your owners and your shareholders. So like if somebody makes an investment into your company, everybody's saying, hey, we're going to put $50,000 in the pot. Then you have to make sure that you are returning that plus more. So making sure that you're paying attention to your shareholders and everything. So definitely culture motivation is financial incentives, competition, and career advancement. But I do that. I do that in a nonprofit. I know a lot of nonprofit leaders cannot do that though. But that is just in general business. Like you should be building culture, motivation, and doing incentives. You should be taking your team out. You should be spending a little bit of change on your team. Let me see. So innovation and performance are rewarded financially through recognition and promotion. So you will find that if you're a top seller, how many are that? You're a top seller. Oh my goodness, you get all of the reward. You getting bonuses. You getting employee of the year, because everybody want to look at you. And who's this? This is for-profit land. Okay, for-profit land. So that is for profit, all right? So everything is for a profit. Don't ask me the differences. I just spelled it out. Like, that's what it is, all right? The biggest thing is what you've noticed in my conversation of for profit is that I've been talking about navigating change, management, and a business transformation like Amazon. Amazon is just a good example because they're doing a major transition that is affecting a whole lot of people, but people don't even realize it until it's going to happen. We haven't transitioned in the government. We haven't transitioned in for-profit land. Usually it doesn't happen in both. But it's happening in both. Something to think about because of the economy. All right. So understanding really what change management means. So like in today's business landscape, it's important to understand how businesses around you are changing and moving, because you're going to have to change and move. And remember, in my last show, I was saying it kind of feels like COVID. Like you have got to feel the temperature of the dynamic around you, right? To understand how you're going to shift into those financial departments that I talked to you about, the pockets of money here, pockets of money there, where you going to go, because it ain't no grants, Now I have more people contacting me for school more than ever now, because they thinking like, oh, I could just go to school and I could get a trade. Yeah, you can if it was funded, or if you want to pay out of pocket. But that's not the climate, right? The climate is, oh no, I want to go to school for free. So like everybody who just went to school for free, that was like a perfect opportunity to go to school for free, because now it ain't no grants out here. But guess what? Time for change still gonna be around. We just won't shift gears. But then where's the rest of the world gonna go? Where's the other climate? Where's the climate of the business? So you have to understand that you have to feel and be, we talked about this last time, spiritually connected to everything that's going on. Even though you don't want to watch the news, you need to watch it. You need to be inclined and know about everything that's going on so that you could be more prepared to change. Your business has got to change, but most importantly, ready for it? The word maladaptive. You have got to maladapt to the environment of the culture of what is going on around you. Okay? It's a lot of things going on around us. And because of our legislation and the things that's going on, it's moving very fast. It's moving very fast. I don't know if anybody is strategically thinking through what is going on, but it feels like a hurricane. So you have to be able to pay attention, like calm down and feel how the world is moving and which way you could go within the work that you're doing. Whether it be, if you do have a trade, you're in good standing, like you could go and fix houses, you could go and do this, but you need to be in the neighborhoods that people have the actual money to fix their house. Because it's a lot of houses that's in this area, people are selling and leaving them because they can't afford them. So you have to pay attention to that. All right. So common triggers of transformations is like merging. Ew. I never want merging. So like contacting different businesses and seeing how you could work together as partnership. But some businesses actually have to sell stake so that they can survive. Rebranding, making things look different from what you used to do before you felt the rift of change that you might have to make. Paying attention to that. And then like technology adoption. Like time change started with a lot of technology that we still utilize, but just not as much. So like, how can we use more and more technology to be on the cutting edge? Because clearly we got things to worry about if we have 14,000 people losing their jobs to robots. Okay? And market shifts, just paying attention to your market, but you doing that anyway because we already talked about it in a couple of episodes of the market analysis, so we already talked about that. All right. Why organizations often resist change and how leaders can overcome that resistance. So a lot of times you resist because you don't want to embark on something new, but the reality of it is that you have to meditate and know that you have to change and evolve all the time. It's always a time for change. It's always a time for change. Okay, you gotta just be looking for, like, what does that look like? It might not be big organizational different structures of change, but you need to be looking into that. Making sure that you define what successful change is to you and your company. You probably should be thinking about that anyway, just because you gotta be ready for change. It's gonna come. So like I said, I feel COVID. So what is something that I need to do? I need to expand what worked for me in COVID. That is what I'm going to do. So I'm already putting the steps in place to be COVIDized. Because I've been there. We survived through COVID. I'm about to turn 10. So like, what does that look like for the company? It's going to be some change happening. All right. But you got to be open to change. Sometimes you need consultants to come in and do a business, identify what is going on in the business so that the business consultant can support you in understanding what your change may be. Maybe you can't see your change, right? So if you're in a for-profit or non-profit, it doesn't matter. Maybe you can't see your change, but somebody from the outside looking in will come in and say, you know what? If you did this would be bulletproof. Sometimes getting somebody to look from the outside or discussing it with somebody who is a business owner who's close to you, right? The connections that matter that we talked about in the review. If you definitely are connecting to people, then you'll be able to see how connected you can be with another business owner and understanding what changes you could potentially make. Even if you don't choose to make all of them, you could potentially make some of them. All right. Let's see. So without revealing any type of transformations, sometimes people feel like how I'm telling you that I'm going to coletize my business. I'm not necessarily telling you exactly what I'm going to do, right? It's because sometimes what you want to do, you want to keep it to be unique, elite, and different from the rest. You want to be unique, so you keep it so that everybody doesn't do what you do. That way you're on the cusp of what you're about to embark, whether it be financial gain or whether it be financial loss. You still are keeping it, and it's your business plan. It's not anybody else's. Making sure that you understand the impact of your culture, impact of your leadership, and timing on transformation of the outcomes of your new venture, right? Because you're moving into something new, but the same. So evolution, right? Because the rebranding, the restructuring, the technology implementation, the things that you're going to do to be bulletproof from drowning. That's what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm dropping gems. So you don't want to drown, right? People are in fear of finances when they are an entrepreneur. So when you are in fear of finances without faith, you have to have work. With faith, you must have work. All right. So if you're doing the rebranding and restructuring and technology implementation, you're doing all this stuff at one time because the goal is to be financially stable. So you're going to put those things in place. You're going to be doing that all the time. I'm rebranding all the time. I'm restructuring all the time, but I'm holding steady to what is the foundation no matter what. So I might be changing things, but the foundation, the mission is still going to be to eradicate crime and homelessness by way of employment. I'm still going to be doing what we plan to do, but we're just going to do it on the cusp of looking different in different places, maybe. Right? So doing those things, it could be you got to reduce friction in your company or by doing little things small at a time, but doing them fast though, because you have to do things fast, especially how the legislation is moving so fast. Okay, moving so fast. So make sure that you're writing down your next steps, the things that you want to do. Your rebranding, your overhaul, when you have to manage some change management. All right. It's going to be really, really important for you to move as fast as the legislation. If you are in business right now and you have developed a business with me or you have had a business on the outside of me, my biggest advice here on Droppin Gems, because you are my show watcher, is to tell you that you need to be moving as fast to think of things to brand right now on the cusp of all of these different changes that's happening. What can you do to not give, but to support the social economic status right now? What is going to work for you? Are you reading articles in the newspaper and paying attention? Are you reading articles in the newspaper online? Are you listening to, the radio station, the news radio station, so that you can know what is going on right now and where to go to? The information is out there. They're talking really fast. They're doing things really fast, but you got to pay attention. Being an entrepreneur is about being on the cusp. You always got to know what is coming down the pipe. You always got to redirect your business the way how you foresee the management needing to come. It's called change management. You have to foresee the restructuring. You have to foresee the rebranding. You have to start seeing who's losing jobs. You have to start seeing what kind of market you're going to get. I mean, because if you are hiring, you're going to get a slew of candidates right now. They're going to be good. You need to let them compete. Don't just hire anybody. Let them compete, because you got some good quality individuals that's out here looking for jobs. So I want to make sure that you know how, as a leader, to navigate transformation. And that is what you need. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. You're always going to transform. You are always going to change. You are always going to look and see how you could do things better. If you are not doing that, then you are not a good leader. If you are not doing that, you are not paying attention to the world that's around you. Trust me, it's not just going to be about the gym cup. It's not just going to be about the computer. It's not going to be about the Chanels. It's going to be about a whole bunch of different things that you got to stay focused on with the news broadcast, with everything that's going on in the world. I said myself, I've been in business for almost 10 years, and I said, this feel like a COVID time. Got to strap up. Don't see a lot of funding. Not going to be able to pay for a lot of students right now. So we need to figure this out. We need to figure out what we're going to do. So a lot of times, my leadership in change management is thinking, and meditating, and talking to God. That's a part of the work. Do not think if you sitting there talking to God that you are not getting paid. Like, what am I doing? I'm not getting paid. No, you are paying it forward, talking to God. God is going to talk to you later on. He's going to tell you what you need to do. But you have got to sit back and listen. You got to sit back and listen. You got to listen to everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly, to make these transformation and decisions that's going to help sustain your business. Now, you might say, like, dang, Tony, we just got into the business world. We just got into this. You should be changing as you're moving and getting into it. And so what? You just got your business. You should be already looking at how you could be the best business that you could be. If you could be the best business that you could be, it's not going to be on yesterday's plan. It's going to be on today's plan. And then the day after that plan. And then 3 years down the line plan. What are you going to look like as a business, as a company? What is your brand going to look like? I really, really want you to take some time and to think about this. It's very important. You already know for profit. You already know nonprofit. I'm trying to help you into understanding both. But understanding it both in that, you're going to maladapt and you're going to be changing as you're growing, because that's what you're supposed to do. I would like to thank you for listening to Droppin Gems. Time for Change Tuesdays, every other Tuesday at 6 p.m. I could not be so thankful for you as my change agents, my faithful watchers. Please, please, please continue to watch, but apply what you have learned. Apply what you have learned. You have been listening to me for 11 months. 11 months. So, I don't know. But I know I ain't going to be the one that's tired of talking. So go back, listen to the videos, apply what you've learned, and I look forward to your success stories. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.